minutes. Technical difficulties, definitely. I am. Oh no, I have too many things open on my screen.
I am 20 things open on my screen. That's awesome.
Okay, okay. I got this. I think I got this. Okay, so I'm Phyllis. So okay, welcome to the roundtable with Sharifa Hardy, aka Allison Allman today. I am filling in for Sharifa, who is on a plane right now to Seattle, and so okay, that's fun. And so, so I'm the organization maven, and this show is very awesome. It is, oh man, I'm doing a terrible intro.
You're doing wonderful. Stop saying that.
She's actually a little bit flustered because of all the technical issues that we just had.
Sharifa fire me as your co-host. I love being a co-host and have Sharifa be the host. So, so this is the Roundtable Talk Show. We all talk, we have fun, we're imperfect, and we talk about our businesses in the reality of our life. Today is Monday, September 21st. It is my favorite day of the week to be here because I get to get my week started off in a positive mood. I meet 4 to 5 new people each day, each Monday, and so that helps my Rolodex and my network and everything. So that's why I'm on the Sharifa show, the Roundtable Talk Show with Sharifa every Monday morning. I love meeting new people and telling people the trends of organizing. And for everyone that has tuned in live or is watching on the replay, we would love for you to share this show. I don't know what's ahead of us yet for the hour to talk, or the 42 minutes, but 52. And so, like I said, Sharifa, when you're watching this, don't fire me. Just or not vacation. I know you're going to speak at an event. So first up, we have, okay, so first I have to introduce myself. So I'm Allison Almond. I'm the organization maven here in Southern California. I help people that are busy and overwhelmed with their clutter in their homes. I come in, it's a puzzle piece for me, and I come in and I tackle it. And I organize it all usually in one session, quote, one day. I do a lot of garages in 6 hours, and 6 or 7 hours, I put together metal shelves, I purge, and a lot, like the most common thing that happens is I come over and give a quote, and I go, oh yeah, I can do this in 7.5 hours. And the person that I'm doing the consultation with, they agree, but in their insides, they're laughing and they're going, this lady cannot do this in 7.5 hours. I live here and I see this clutter all the time and I don't know how to tackle it. But I know that if I were to tackle it, it would take me days upon days upon days. So I just smile and just like write it on my calendar, and then I come back, and then I do it in 7 hours and 31 minutes, and they fall over themselves and they cannot believe that I did what I said I would do. And the before and after pictures, like I take them all the time, and even them, because they're so used to seeing the clutter, they kind of block it out in their brain. And then when they see the after, like physically, they're like, oh my goodness, like, yeah, and here's the before picture, and I'm going to post this on social media, and your garage is going to become famous and everything. And then they're like, wait, I still can't get over the fact you did this in 7 hours, 7.5 hours. And then they tell their friends, and then I become very popular on that street. And so, so that's probably my the biggest thing going on, is that I'm just tackling all these spaces, and people are just mind blown at how I'm totally accurate on my estimate. So that's what I wanted to say. I really love my job, and I really love being the one that helps people. I'm like the superhuman that comes and saves the day, and I love that feeling. It's like a daily high. I don't need any other thing in my life because I enjoy that feeling every single day. So that's me. And
yeah, I was just going to say this. There's this one lady that I met not so long ago. She does something similar to what you do, except for, like, here's the twist. She goes into really well-to-do homes, and she organizes the specifically daughters' closets, and turns their whole room into like a shrine to the princess that she is. And I thought that's a real thing that people, can do. And that was the first thing I thought of when you started talking about this, is how fascinated I was by hearing about her.
Use your gifts. I just wish that both of them were right here in Jacksonville, Florida, because we could definitely use that garage organization.
Well, it's definitely, I'm not sure what my future holds for me. I have flown to Colorado and done things out there. And so what I do to expand my marketing is I go and join different moms groups. So I join like Colorado moms, Texas moms, different moms groups, and I wait for people to post about how overwhelmed and busy they are. And then if there's enough of like a response that I actually, like when I was going to Colorado, I was going 3 days out of the month to Colorado, and I would fly up and then I would be there for 3 days, and the money that I would generate in those 3 days would cover my travel expenses without an individual person having to pay for my travel. And then I could get 3 or 4 clients done in a 3 or 4 day period, and then I would fly back to California, and then I would reset it up for the next month. I was actually planning on moving to Colorado at some point, so I was really starting to get my business clientele up, because that I didn't want to get moved there and then start from scratch on my marketing, because then I would starve. I would be eating top ramen and lose my apartment or whatever. Like my savings would be depleted so quickly because I'd be trying to figure out what I want to do. So I thought, wait a second, if I build up my clientele up there, then when I move, I'll already have a landing point. So there has been some talk about me doing some other traveling and stuff. And so I just figured I would do the same marketing scheme where I would join different Florida moms groups, probably in a cluster of city areas, and then build that I'm going to be on this week. I'm going to go there, and who wants to be on my client list. And so and then I have to do a shameless plug here. I'm going to be on TV soon in LA markets. There's a CBS show called Destination LA. And they talk about the best restaurants, the best businesses, the local happenings. And so I'm going to be on an episode 3, which is October 24th. And so I'm allowed to officially start talking about it. They gave me the okay this past Thursday, but I've been hinting towards it for the past couple months without saying anything. Just, you'll see me soon on TV. I can't tell you more. And then Thursday, they're like, okay, now you can talk about it. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I've been dying to talk about it.
Nice.
So I want to transition over to Jody and give her the floor and introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jody Watkins. I'm actually a native of a small town called Fernandina Beach, Florida, which is right north of Jacksonville, Florida. I joined the military back in 2000 and ended up back in Jacksonville, Florida. So that's where I am right now. I just moved back last year. But I'm a health and wellness coach. I'm actually transitioning kind of more into life coaching. I wrote a book called Reclaim Your Life, which I have right here. My daughter's on the front cover. She's my why for everything that I do. And I was also one of 16 authors in a book called If She Can. You can see that. This was amazing. This all happened through COVID, by the way. And it really, I went through a huge journey in my own life just last year, where I realized that even though I might have felt good and, did a lot of work on the outside, I didn't do enough work on the inside. And I really had a lot of things that I needed to tackle. So that's what I did through all of 2019, really. And I'm still doing it. It's a daily thing. But I am very passionate about helping people implement healthier habits into their lives. I founded a company 3 years ago called To Be Epic Fitness and Nutrition, LLC. I'm actually using that now to mentor other personal trainers and onboard them to kind of help me be able to help more people, really, because, when it's just you, it's hard to help as many people as you want to help. And it is online coaching. So we help people all over the world. I was military, so I have clients in Japan. I have clients all over the place. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm also the vice president of a nonprofit called Transitioning Queens Incorporated, which helps women transitioning out of toxic relationships just become, better versions of themselves and actually learn how to believe in themselves. Kind of things that I had to go through. And the woman who founded it, she actually founded it based on a situation she was in just last year as well. So there's a lot going on in my life, but I definitely am looking forward to hearing more about everyone. I'm doing a lot more motivational speaking these days and just sharing stories, which was hard for me for pretty much my whole life. But now I'm just very transparent and open. And I've learned that that's helping a lot more people by me sharing those stories. So it's been an amazing journey. I'm grateful for all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I also am looking forward to traveling and helping people in different areas in person also. And just really connecting. I love people. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay, this is where I transition to the next person. Sharifa's watching, so now I'm even more nervous.
Oh, wow.
Don't be nervous. You're good. She's doing awesome,
Hello, Sharifa.
Okay, so next, Mackenzie, you have, tell us about your new release.
Sure. So I'm a musician, and also I publish books, and I act in various TV shows, and I've got an online store. But as far as my new record goes, just like Jody was saying, during COVID, we've been sort of especially productive. And I've been able to put out a new record. And I go under the name This Mad Desire. And the new record is called American Dream. And it took about a year and a half to 2 years to put together. And I worked with all kinds of cool people. There's a fellow named Mark Zubek in Toronto that I worked with who has won all kinds of songwriting awards. And also a fellow named Dan Konopka from a band called OK Go. And he lives in Southern California, as just like the show is coming from. Actually, he's probably like the closest person I can think of to the show. Anyhow, so while I was working on this on the album last year, I was actually assaulted by a meth addict, and you can't tell anymore. I mean, if you can see my forehead, this was really cut up, and when they took the bandages off after about a month and a half, I looked like a Klingon, basically. You've seen it with the big ripples in the forehead. And anyway, it took a couple of months to it took almost 9 or 10 months till it looks kind of like how it looks now, which is pretty much normal. But anyway, but then COVID hit, and I thought, I'm going to finish up the record, and so I put that out. Our latest couple of lyric videos that have come out. One is called "Stand Up and Dream Again," and the footage is all from I'm going to say riots and protests from the early part of the 20th century, up to Martin Luther King, and then right up to today. Obviously, every night across America, there's, it looks like bedlam, basically. It's lots and lots of protesting and riots. And so I tried to capture some of that imagery in the video for Stand Up and Dream Again. I guess afterwards I'll put a link, underneath so you can watch it. And then the most recent one, which came out on the weekend, is the title track for The American Dream. And that also features slightly different footage because this is more about the changing scope of the American dream and how, with automation and the new technologies and with, the Googles and the Facebooks and the Zooms of the world, how everything is changing for everybody. And what does that mean and all that kind of, strange stuff. And I tried to incorporate, again, footage that would sort of put those sorts of ideas in your mind, like self-driving trucks and things of that nature. And so those are the two videos. And then outside of all this music stuff, which is kind of constantly going on for me, there's always something happening. I've also worked on a cookbook with my mother, and about yeah, I know. Can you imagine? So about 19 years ago, in 2001, we put out a book called The Culinary Saga of New Iceland, Recipes from the Shores of Lake Winnipeg. And that won 2 Canadian cookbook awards out of 2 out of 3 possible awards that are given out by this organization called Taste Canada. Then it was called Cuisine Canada. So anyway, there's been we ran out of books basically, and we thought we'd put out a second edition. So we've now done that, and again, I'll put a link down, so you can check it out. But it's a slightly different format, and again, kind of expanded the more pictures, more this, more that, but quite a labor of love and a lot of interesting tidbits about the history of Icelandic settlements in North America, and basically about what happened with the recipes when the people came from Iceland to North America and found that they had different kinds of ingredients available and all that kind of stuff. If you can imagine in Iceland, for example, they didn't have yeast, and then they come to So I mean, well, Iceland in the late 1800s, and for most of its history, was a very, very poor country. Yeah. And you can imagine all kinds of fruits and vegetables and whatnot that we have naturally here in North America wouldn't necessarily be the case in a country like Iceland that has very little vegetation. And also just imagine the fish are all different, right? So they come to North America and they don't have the same ocean fish. So these sort of historical details are kind of discussed in the book. And then the other funny thing is, prior to like nowadays, everyone knows that when you're on Facebook or on Instagram or whatever the case may be, there's always like a ton of comments underneath the whatever the main thing is. That wasn't the case when we first made the book. So there's also the same style of commentary underneath all the recipes from other North American Icelandic people. Would test out the recipes, and they would mail in their comments, and we would include them. So that's kind of a cool thing, where you get to find out, what did so and so in Utah think about it, or in California or wherever the case may be, British Columbia. Really, really neat to get people's stories also about their own, what their mother might have done differently with the recipe, or their grandmother. That kind of thing. So that's been quite a cool thing to work on as well, and totally different from this whole rock and roll thing that I
What was the one recipe that you loved making the most with your? Was it featured in the recipe book part 2 or the sequel?
Yeah, well, absolutely, yeah. So the probably everybody's, I'm not gonna say everybody's favorite, but probably everybody's favorite is it's called Vinatarta. And in some ways, when you're a little kid growing up as an Icelandic kid growing up, you're taught that this cake pretty much emblemizes what it means to be Icelandic, and you think, this is everything about, and nobody else eats this cake, and it's about a 6 or 7 layer cake where there's a cookie layer and then a fruit compote, which is usually in our case prunes. And then it goes up, so it looks like a black and white stripe sort of cake, and then sometimes it has an icing, and sometimes it doesn't, depending on whose grandmother's recipe you're following, basically. But I prefer it with icing. And we have 7 different recipes for this same cake in the book, so you can pick and choose and try different kinds, but they're all everybody's favorite cake. And there's lots of other great desserts too. I mean, forgetting about the fish and the whatever other kinds of foods, lots and lots of great desserts.
Okay. So, well, whatever you put in the chat, I'll put into the Facebook links below, so that for the people that are watching can see. And then perfect. I want to go to Barke.
Hello, everybody. I'm getting very excited now. How's everyone?
Yeah, because I was thinking about with the cookbook with his mom being kind of like his hero, and then you have Be Your Own Hero. So I was like, the great transition. Yes, I'm doing a good job. I can transition. Good.
You have been doing a great job today, and thank you for being here. You're meant to be here today. Now, for everybody out there, I'm leading Muslim women and entrepreneurs to be their own hero. This is something that, especially with the life that we're living at the moment, we've done the selfishness, we've done the looking outside and hoping for the best, and we're looking for outside for heroes and people to come and save us. Now it's time to actually look what's inside of us and actually let ourselves serve ourselves. Now, this comes with experience in my own personal story that I went through, people pleasing, worrying about other people, or caring so much about other people that I lost myself, that I put myself in a back seat, and I said to myself, this is not actually working for me anymore, because it's not fulfilling. It's not something that I feel good about myself. And so I asked myself, what do I need, or what is that I'm not seeing here? And I don't know if anyone heard of the fill up your own cup before you share it to anybody. And when I had that first time, I was like, what does it mean? Fill up my own cup. With what? Tea, coffee? What is it exactly? So, so I started to say, what I share, what I want for other people. What if I start doing that to myself? So being the first person for other people, being the the strong, the person that will always be there no matter what, no complaining, no worrying, I'm there for you. So what if I do that for myself? What if I tell myself I love you? What if I tell myself, you, Barke, you're worth it, you deserve happiness? How my life would be. And then I started doing it. And when I started doing it, to everyone who's around me, I started appreciating them, but I don't expect anything from them. I started seeing them that if they don't like it, guess what happens? They disappear. It's like magic, really. And it's just beautiful. I love it because end of the day, it works for me. And when it works for me, the right people that I pulled in, they are the right people for me. That means we're growing together. And that was a remarkable thing for myself, but for everybody else around me. And I started saying to myself, okay, this change that I made for myself, but what if the secret recipe, I can give it to other people? So I love speaking, guys, okay? I love speaking nationally, internationally. I love speaking with women. I'm an empowered person. I love motivating other people. This is my nature, and I love doing it. Now, I started speaking. When I started speaking, people say to me, but teach me how to do it. Not just telling me, because I know inside of me, but I'm not doing it. I'm lazy. So I said, okay. And that means they pushed me to become a coach. And that I had to study to become a coach because I want to do the right way for them. Now, I didn't realize until I started writing my own book. And this book, I'm going to take my camera off because it's on my screen while I'm still talking. That's my book. And it's on Amazon.co.uk, and you can just find it. Either you can put my name, Barke Faraj. And this book I created is my own biography and also a self-help book. You can actually work on yourself. I didn't know at the beginning that actually I was doing my own work for me by asking their questions. Why is this happening? Why am I not happy? Why, if I'm doing something, is not for everybody else? Why other people don't appreciate what I'm doing or what I'm seeing for them? And that means you cannot control everyone. But guess what? You can work on yourself. You can control you on how you react and how you answer and what process of your thinking, of your action you're saying to yourself, but also to other people. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I love this. Now, after becoming a coach, I started becoming mentor. By doing that, I started working with job centers. I went to Zanzibar, if you ever heard of it, in East Africa, Tanzania. I was born in Kenya. So I was just like, I want to go back where I came from, to share this wisdom, to share this message to the women, to the youth, because I didn't have that when I was growing up. And if we can share that all the time, this is, oh my goodness, how are we going to, create the leaders for tomorrow's? Because they don't need to get lost when they're adults. They can actually find themselves now. And that's, I was like, yes, let's do this. And now, because of my journey of what is happening or what I'm doing with the movement that I'm doing, I'm always on the social media. On Facebook, I do my videos, YouTube channel, Barke, Be Your Own Hero. You can find me. I've got podcasts that I'm doing. And now I'm doing actually a self-development program in K News, that is Asian news. I'm all over the world, okay? I speak English and I speak Swahili. I would love to speak all the other languages, but I am open to go to any different countries and actually speak, because I'm doing it for the people. It's not about me. It's not about the money. It's about the people. It's about our human connection. That's what we need. That's what we can do for ourselves. Now, that self-development, it is on the YouTube. It's going to be on the news for the Asian, Pakistani, Indian is going to be. I've got also my own that I am actually hosting. It's called Soul Purpose Leaders. And that is for the people who are similar to me, but we all come together in one platform. I interview people and I share those interviews for people who need their help. I'm doing that. And also I'm doing one of these. Yesterday, I was actually on another speaking for Creative Society, if you've ever heard of it. I've also joined with Human Fast. And all of these are movements that are thinking the same as me. We want better future for ourselves. We want understanding that we can work on ourselves and we can build a better world for ourselves, but for our children. So if you believe in the same thing, you want to work on yourself, get in touch with me. Jody's doing similar thing. Get us.
I've already connected with you on LinkedIn, and it's crazy because I felt this connection before you even started talking. And now that you're talking, I'm like, oh yes, this is a woman I want in my corner. Like you, I love everything that you're saying. Literally everything that I wrote in my book is everything I had to experience as well. And I go through that mindset, loving yourself. I didn't love myself for many years, but I was helping everybody else. And the same things that you're talking about, when I finally had to turn that mirror around and dig deep and realize what is consuming me, what is making it to where I can't progress in life. And it was me. It was me. I was limiting my own self. And, and that's why like the podcast I have is called Breaking Barriers Now. Everything is about breaking down barriers, because until we break those barriers down, we cannot truly show up for anybody else. And I was definitely pouring from an empty cup. So that whole fill your cup up thing, that's chapter 3, self-care. You have to take care of yourself. You cannot take care of anyone else until you take care of yourself. And so that's what, like, I've been working with moms, overwhelmed, overworked. They're trying to do everything. And, you can't do everything if you're not taking care of yourself first. So, oh my gosh, hands down. Oh my goodness.
Well, I was thinking like it's a domino effect. Like first you were like taking care of yourself, and then you started talking to these people, and then that opened up like this. And
exactly. Law of attraction.
Like every time you were talking, I'm like, oh, so another domino flopped over, and now she's doing this, and then another domino flopped over, and then it expanded. Like it's like a fan or something.
But all it takes is us moving out of our own way, right? Like once we move out of our own way, and like she was saying, I didn't have that mentorship growing up either. So, I'm 42 now. It took me this long. But I have a 10-year-old. It's not, if I can do this work on myself now, guess what? She's not going to be limiting herself, because now I'm talking to her about these things. And that's what I've been talking to other kids and just mentoring young adults, because the stuff I went through, chances are a lot of people out there are going through it too. And, it's just amazing how we can kind of open up their minds and just allow them to think about possibilities instead of limitations.
Exactly, because for me, I was actually going through mental abuse in my own house and I didn't complain about it. So what happened was that I thought that problem was just my problem and I was just hiding, isolating myself. I was in depressed. I was going through even wanting to self-harm. But end of the day, my faith and they're just like, no, I cannot go cross that road. I cannot cross this place that where I am. And I was like, there must be something more in my life. And there is people who don't have that limit, that way of saying, this is it, there's something else. But what I love is that when one of the coach was saying that in self-love, if you don't have self-love in your life, that means you're selfish. So we have to get this mindset of, oh, if I self-love, that means I'm selfish. No, if you don't have self-love, that is selfish. Because what about you? If you're thinking about everybody else out there, who's making you happy? Who's actually doing things for you? When you're sick, who's looking after you? When there's no one else around you, who is there with you? You. So look after yourself. This is your time. This is your moment. So let's get up and say, yay, I love me, okay? And I'm in love with myself. And that's good. That's the way it's supposed to be. Before I can tell another person, I love you, Jody. I love you, Mackenzie. You know what I mean? This is the way to go forward.
You know, I was just going to say, you know, I think a lot of this comes down to the concept of self-confidence. And and the way I'm going to phrase this is a little bit more for people that are, you know, starting their own businesses, for example, you know, self-starting entrepreneurs. A lot of people deal with what I think of as negative self-talk, you know, where you're telling yourself, you know, I'm not good enough, or, you know, maybe I don't have the right skills, you know, I haven't learned enough, I haven't done enough education, you know, whatever the case may be, right? And I think that happens for pretty much everybody. And it's also not too different from stage fright. And, you know, I used to teach singers in particular, and singing, I mean, public speaking is what people say is the number one fear that most people have. And I think that's generally true, but try and sing in public. It's even more hard for people.
I've been doing that. I started singing at our church, and it's definitely, I couldn't imagine doing it in front of a lot of people, but that was enough for me.
You get up there and all you can think of is, I'm not, you know, I'm not a professional. I'm not this, you know, I'm not, and it's all negative, right?
Yeah.
And training yourself, and you know, I'm glad you two are both kind of working on those kinds of things for other people, but training people to get over that and feel like, yes, I can, you know, and do that in a productive way. You know, that's one of the most important things ever, I think, for the vast majority of people.
It is, because I was actually training people on how to speak, because I'm naturally born, okay, to speak on the stage or to speak on the video. I love that. But then for people who don't have it, I usually say there's a challenge I can give you, 5-day challenge to speak on the video or to speak on stage. And it's very simple process, because all of us, we are going into our heads and we lock ourselves out. That's it. It was like, oh my God, I cannot do it. We put that window in ourselves and thinking that this is it. No, it's not. If you take yourself out of that, of yourself, and think of it as a third person, would you really be fearing? No. Would you really be worrying about it? No. So then you're like, okay, I think I can do 1 minute. Okay, let's do 1 minute. And then next time, another 5 minutes until you are champion. And you're like, what happened? What's the fear? All gone.
It's all gone.
And did I read that Barke, you had done some Toastmasters? Is that
yes, I did.
Was that you?
Yes, that's me.
Yeah, I did Toastmasters when I was in high school, actually, and I found it to be very and there are Toastmasters groups all over the world.
They are, yes.
So you know, if you are the kind of person that has one of those, you know, you're a little fearful of public speaking or whatnot. I mean, those people are all over the place. That's good to know.
They actually have, and like I said, I just moved back to the States last year. So I say, even though I had my business officially since 2017, I'm literally starting over, like starting from the bottom, because you know, it went from, I wanted to help everybody to, like Barke was saying, I couldn't help everybody. I can only help the people who I'm meant to work with. So that's why I have a call with everybody first, because I might not be the coach for you and you might not be the client for me. Like, you know, and if that's not there, then I usually have other people I can reach out to or direct them to or whatever the case may be. But They do have the Toastmasters thing here, but I didn't really know exactly what it entailed. So I had yet to look into that. But now that you guys are talking about it, I think I'm going to be going on there.
For me, it was actually, I was invited. It wasn't like I enrolled myself. I just invited. I went for that day and somebody put my name down. I didn't even put my name down. So what they did was they gave me a topic randomly, and it was all about eggs. And I rock with it, and I won the award for that.
See, that's what I need. I realize that for me, if I don't plan ahead, I can talk in front of people like it's nothing. If I'm not, because I don't have time to be in my head at that point, right? It's just like you just said, somebody gave you a topic, go. If somebody gives me a topic, I can talk about it all day long. But if you make me have to think about it first, and I got to put together something, and then I have time to get nervous, and nope. Yeah. I just want to go. Just let me go.
But that is awesome. Natural. So I call it natural. Being you're like original. You're not you haven't been actually added or taken away. And that's the best thing. A lot of speakers who can speak naturally just like that, that's a speaker. That's born speaker. For speakers who have to sit down and work out exactly the topic, but then when you go on the stage, you forget everything and are just like, oh my God, where did I do? Or where should I start? You know what I mean? So it's all to do with the person. I'm not criticizing the people that they have to get ready, but it's better to learn that you go naturally. And then you will be amazed. You'll be like, oh, wow. Did I come out with that thing? Yes.
I have been so far. But it's funny you say that, because I have a vision board and I have them hanging up in front of me because I look at them every single day. But on there, it has TEDx. Like that was one of my big things. I was like, one day I want to be, because I listened to them, I watched those videos. But when I applied, I realized you have to have a plan. You have to have all this strategy and all this. And I was just like, you know what? Maybe that's not the right one for me. I want to go where people want me there. I don't want to have to beg to be somewhere.
Exactly. What you did there is actually what everybody needs to hear it. Okay. People were not told that. People were told, no, you have to pay. You have to get ready. You have to make sure that person actually qualifies you. No, you don't. Okay. The good thing about this age that we're in, you can go on YouTube and start talking. You can go to Facebook and start talking. The right people will listen to you. So if you're a speaker, if you're a musician, if you're whatever you're doing in life, go for it. Don't wait until you know everything. My darling, you're going to be 100 by then. So forget that. Yes.
Here's one technique that I use, and this is what I've learned from personal experiences. I kind of create a persona, and I do a lot of acting too. Like and when you're acting in TV shows, obviously you're not being an authentic person. You're being whatever the heck you're supposed to be, right? You're wearing a costume.
Yes. You're wearing
dressed
mask.
up in a you wear a mask, right? I mean, like here's a mask,
Oh my goodness.
Well,
but during COVID. So if anybody watches this 5 years from now, we're in the time of COVID. You'll hear about it.
And by the way, I'm actually selling these and lots of other designs. I've got an online store.
Put it on again, please.
Dream.com. But exactly. So, but the concept is, if you can kind of separate yourself from your own emotions, and sometimes that does mean, putting up a little bit of a barrier, that can be a great transition, a great way to get yourself, a little bit further ahead in terms of, the way you want to be perceived, whether that means, putting on, nicer clothes that make you feel good, or doing up your makeup right, or, whatever the case may be, whatever makes you feel more you, or more whatever it is, maybe that's dressing up like Frankenstein, or on Halloween, who knows? But
Halloween every day.
Why not?
It's the apocalypse look right now during COVID.
Yeah, exactly. But it gives you a different way
apocalypse and Mad Max, and they kind of dazzling everything.
That is actually a therapeutic to have a because I actually guide my my clients. If you're feeling self-conscious, or you're feeling self-esteem, you're lower in self-esteem and not feeling good, or maybe need a little boost, I would suggest, yes, go wear a beautiful dress, or wear something that makes you lift you up. Look at yourself in the mirror, put some beautiful something makeup on if you want to. You know what I mean? Whatever that makes you feel good before you start to actually see yourself and feel good without those things, because when you put too much mask on, you can actually lose yourself. So don't do too much, but do just a tiny bit, but stay original, stay authentic. That's the most important thing. But do feel good about yourself.
Yeah. And then one of the things I always ask people, one of the first questions I say, are you doing this for you, or are you doing this for someone else? One of the things that I had to learn is it's not about pleasing other people. I was a people pleaser. I wanted to please everyone. I wanted to make sure everybody was happy. But at the end of the day, I wasn't. And so I really just had to take that off and just stop focusing so much on pleasing everybody else and just being me. This is me. I'm 100% authentic, genuine. I don't know how to be anybody else. And so I'm not going to try. And so when I moved back to Jacksonville and I was one of 50 million personal trainers and nutritionists, it was like, how do I distinguish myself? And I would have people ask me that question, and I would just be like, I'm just me. I'm the only one who went through the things that I went through at a young age. I'm the only one who got the education and am passionate, not just out here like teaching people how to work out and stuff like that, or how to eat. But I am passionate. I want people to thrive. I tell people, you give me 3 months and I can change your life. And sometimes I have a 6-week program now. It takes even less than that, but you have to meet me halfway. That's it.
Exactly. You can't do it all yourself. And this is why I tell my clients as well, I'm not doing the work for you. We are walking side by side. Okay, I take a step, you take a step. If I lose you, that means I cannot help you. So this is the realistic of it. Okay, because end of the day, we are here to guide. We are here to be your hand to help you get up. Okay, but we cannot do this for you.
Yes.
And most of the time, the passion comes to where the pain was. Okay, when you have a pain, or when you are going through some challenges or some problems and you want to make it better, the transition is where that is like uncertainty, where everything is just like, oh my God, could I, whatever it's going to be, what about this, what about that? So the person is there to support you through the transitioning. After that, baby, you can fly, because then you believe in yourself, because then you know that your wings can take you to wherever you want to go. So here it is at the moment. It's okay. You are not alone. You'll never be alone. Just reach out.
And that's why I said, I know there's a reason I was on this show today. That's exactly what I tell people too. It's like, I used to not have a time limit on the programs, but I had to start forming that, because I literally give everything. I give everything. I don't hold nothing back. That's selfish, right? I got all this information. I got the experience. I got the knowledge. If I just keep it in, that's selfish. What am I going to do with that? No. So I give all of it. Like literally everything in this book is my entire health coaching. You can change your life with this one book if you want to, but you got to do it, right? I can't do it for you. So, but that's the thing. It's like, I want you to be able to get everything you need. You can help yourself. You can help your family. You can help your friends. And then go. Be free.
Yesterday I was watching this documentary about a rock and roll club in Thunder Bay called Crocs and Rolls. And there were interviews with all kinds of people that started attending the club when they were, let's say, 16, 15, like when they were really young and insecure and all this kind of stuff. And they're all kind of reflecting back on how, because they're like, this is in a town that is very, very remote. Like Thunder Bay there's 8 hours in one direction to one city and 8 hours in another direction to another city. And it's a small town. And what they were all saying, every single one, was, it took them having people come through town because they didn't have the internet either. But looking back, they found that because people kept coming through and showing them a whole different way of being and living, they found so much inspiration from seeing, these punk rockers coming in from Vancouver or from California that, they had no idea even somebody could dress like that or think like that, and gave them the self-confidence to, achieve in their own lives. in different ways. And I found that to be a very common, sort of sentiment. People don't know what is possible. I always start out by saying, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once you get the hint that you can be something different, because you see that somebody else can be something different, I guarantee you, people are not all that different from each other. So if you see someone else can do something, whether it's being a rock star, movie star, great chef, whatever the case may be, you always should know and feel that it's possible. And if it's possible,
yeah,
that means you
but
can do it.
that's hard to get there. I mean, even with me, I really did. It took, and like Barke was saying, I got into a very dark place just last year where I didn't know what to do anymore. But of course, I ended up in a spiritual transformation as well. And so that kind of helped me out of that. And then plus, like I said, my daughter is my why. I could never do anything to hurt her. And then of course my husband as well. But, but it's interesting how, when we're able to kind of start thinking of that, because that was me too. I was listening to these people. I would listen. I started feeding my brain with different things, which is what we have to do, right? Like the positivity, the self-help, so I started feeding my brain. I always tell people, it doesn't matter if I'm injured on the outside, my brain muscle can always work. So I feed my brain. I still do this daily. And what I started realizing is I said, he's no better than I am. Les Brown went through a struggle. I went through a struggle too. Oh, Eric Thomas, man, I love listening to him. Well, what makes him better? But I had to start thinking like that. Those are amazing people. They're transforming so many lives. But at the end of the day, I'm capable of doing that too, but I had to believe that. So that's why, with these children now and the next generation, it is so important for us as mentors and older people, I guess you can say, to allow them to realize that, it doesn't matter what you have, any limitations you have when you're younger, it's okay. Because guess what? There's so many possibilities out there that you probably aren't even thinking about right now. Even stuff that's happening in my life right now, I would have never thought of.
But that's the thing, because when it's not just about the children, let's be honest here, even the adults, whatever age you're in, there is a time for you to change. There is a time for you to grow. So don't give up, because for me, I got married. I had an arranged marriage at 16. Okay, I had children, and then after that, because I didn't finish school, and I was like, oh my God, how can I write a book? I didn't even finish school. How is my book is gonna be? What people would look at me? How would they understand? Because I've been told you're not good enough, you'll never be successful, you're not this, you're not that, and you start believing in it. But then guess what happens? After I delete those people and I got divorced with the person who kept doing this to me, and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, the way I've grown, I was just like, I'm going to uni, I'm doing things, and I was like, did I even realize before that I would be like this? No, because I thought to myself, oh, no, maybe they're right, and this is it, maybe I could stay here. No, you cannot. You can actually grow. You can live the life you deserve. All you need to do is remember, we all have a choice, and that's a gift, a choice to do something better than you're living right now.
Yes.
So,
and I know I always tell people, be comfortable being uncomfortable. You got to be uncomfortable. If you're just comfortable, you're never going to grow.
Exactly.
It's time to give the one thing that you want our listeners watching live or on the replay to know, the one tidbit about you and how we can contact you. And Barke, you're up first. Barke.
Well, for me, the most important thing is that be your own hero. You can actually live the life you deserve only if you choose to live that life. And where you can get hold of me, just type Barke, be your own hero. You'll find me on YouTube. You'll find me everywhere. Or Barke Kamuss or Barke Faraj Kamuss. You will find me. And I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on all the social media. Just get in touch and I'll be there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mackenzie?
My name is Mackenzie Kristjón from This Mad Desire. You can find me, actually, I'll put all the links down below, but My new album's called American Dream. I've got a store called 2020americandream.com. And I've also got this cookbook that I made with my mother, The Culinary Saga of New Iceland, which is available on Amazon. And again, I'll make sure that the links are somehow available for you.
Okay, Jody.
Okay. Well, I found out that if you Google my name, it comes up. And then if you Google my name with Reclaim Your Life, everything comes up. So that's pretty cool. But I do want to, I don't know if I can share screen, but I want to give a shout out to Sharifa because I'm going to see. Oh, no, it won't let me.
Hold on. I'll allow you.
Okay. Just real quick. I'll be quick.
Here you go. It should be available now.
All right, here we go. So Sharifa looked at my old website and told me everything to change. So, and she said, be unapologetic. Ask for what you need. You ask for it. Do not stand by and wait for people. You be upfront and you just be transparent. And so that's what I did. So here's my website. It's tobeepicfn.com. Again, my company is To Be Epic Fitness and Nutrition, LLC. But this is everything that she helped me with. And then I reached back out to her and I said, what do you think? And she said, much better. So, so I just wanted to do that real quick and just thank her. She and I met just, I never think there's random acts. I know that everything is ordained. So I know that there's a reason why I was on the same show she was on that day. And we just had an amazing conversation after that. And I loved her heart. And I was just so grateful that she invited me here. So.
Okay. Sharifa did that for me too. I had trouble with my website. I couldn't figure it out why I wasn't getting the business that I wanted. I had a website and there just wasn't any action being taken. So she goes, that's what she told me on my website. No one knows what to do. That you have all this content, but they don't take any action.
Yes.
And
that's exactly what she said.
So then what happened was I fixed the things on the website and then wham, bam, here we are. So I'm going to put my Sharifa hat on, that she's going to encourage you to come back again and be on the show, and that for our viewers to, comment below on Facebook Live or watch us on the replay. I'll say it was an interesting experience to be the official host. I think I will step back to be the unofficial co-host next Monday. I'm the organization maven. People can find me by just typing in the organization maven on Google and all my different social options will come up. I really enjoy helping people. I want to help more people. There's more things in the works happening with me. I'm speaking at some events coming up. And like I said, the TV show for Destination LA is coming up. And there's just a lot. And so I'm going to say this. I'm going to thank the pandemic for happening. And not that I'm encouraging that I'm happy that people have died. That's not my message at all. But I do feel the pandemic kind of like kicked my butt into gear and to make me do a lot of marketing that before I just didn't really think about. Like my life was like getting the bills paid. Like I was just working every day, getting bills paid, working every day, bills paid. Pandemic happened. I could not work anymore and bills were not getting paid. So I had to pivot and I chose to get into do more marketing and branding and learn more about social media, even though I felt I knew a lot, but I realized that I had to do so much more to stay in front of people. And so I kind of upped my marketing game and upped my hashtags and worked it on branding. And so the work that I put in April is paying off now. And then in May, I guess will pay off next month and, and so forth. And so that's why I'm thankful for the pandemic. Not that it was bad, but
I think we can all understand where you're coming from on that.
Okay,
It's kind of the same.
So no one thinks I'm happy that people have died.
No, I'm pretty sure anyone who has kind of felt that same way can definitely relate. I definitely can relate to you. I told my husband the other day, I said, you know what, just 2021 is going to be a whole lot better, because what the seeds that are getting planted in 2020 are going to be amazing in 2021. So I've had to learn a lot about patience, and you know, that what you do, I think, is amazing with the organization. I could definitely use that in my life. If you ever want to collaborate with a wellness coach, we could help people get organized and healthy. So
and declutter their brain and the toxic things in their life. So Mackenzie, real quick, do a plug again for your mask, and then I have to close
you know, I
this.
just want to say, because of the whole COVID thing you just brought up, make sure you do wear a mask out there. I've got various designs of different masks at the 2020. You can do this better. 2020americandream.com.
Okay.
But definitely mask it up.
Yes.
Okay. I have to close us. See you. Come again on the show.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.